Okay. So there it is. I don't know if you're familiar with a D3. They
Yeah,
do a bunch of graphing and mapping of stuff.
correct, correct.
So you know how we are gathering the why is it? There it goes. So a couple of them, the ones I was thinking of was some sort of bar chart. So maybe we could take like the number, when we create a new application version out of the CI/CD pipeline, there'll be in the microservices world, let's say we have 100 microservices and 5 of them are changing for this release out of the 100. So what I'm wondering is if we could do some sort of like bar chart or something like that to show how frequently a service is changing. So you can see, you can kind of be like a project manager, and you can see for this application, we're always going in and changing these 3 microservices. They're the ones that get released all the time, and trying to do that kind of like with a bar chart. So the access would be the number of changes over time, and then the other access would be the names of the components for that application. So that was like one idea I had,
Correct.
and I think we can also do it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. I was saying we could do that definitely.
And I think there's we'll have to look around. I think there's like a 3D version of this. So we would have where you can kind of rotate it around, make it a little more fancy. But so I think where'd my document go? Lost it, obviously. I'll put it in the doc later. In this case, our y-axis would be the number of changes, and then the horizontal axis will be the components themselves. So that's kind of like for that one. The other one was the relationships. So if we they've moved things around on me. It's amazing what happens in a week. Oh, let's see. There it is. So the hierarchical edge bundling, this one will allow us to do relationships between, come on, render. Struggling today. There it is. So this is like the class. I can highlight one of these and we'll show all the relationships between all the different services. So this is going to be something like our service to service mapping that we get to kind of lay out at the application level. And then have you ever done anything with like time slices or time graphs or anything like that? Looking at number of what I'm thinking on that front would be like number of changes or over time, like let's
Yeah, so
say, yeah, go ahead.
let's say like in a month, how many releases were there for a application, and or we can drill down the granularity to a week something. So in a week, how many releases we were for an application.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking on that front. And I think there is, I don't know if this plotting library has a time. It kind of looks like like how you have the backup for like iCloud or something like that. It kind of gives you like a histogram where you can go look at what it looked like at Phases of the Moon may be close. Kind of being able to look at certain points in time what things looked like. And it usually is some sort of, I don't see it in this plotting library, but it'll usually have like time going across the bottom, and it could be this one, horizontal chart. Oh, that could be it. So this would be yeah. So this is like at 8 o'clock in the morning, kind of the changes that are happening at this level. So that could be something that we could utilize, because I think you probably pin, so it's not rotating, in real time, but we could kind of be able to go scroll through, go into history.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another one I thought, and this could be all the different applications or the components at that level. And the other one I was thinking of, kind of like from a security standpoint, have you ever seen a hotspot diagram?
Hotspot.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
like,
don't remember right now.
yeah, it'll be kind of like this one, these tree maps, and you can color code these. So let's say we're looking at
Yeah,
this.
I have seen this. Yeah. So inside a tree, that will get expanded, and the more application you would see inside that particular block.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking on this one would be, so we take a look at all the components, like the CVEs and any of the bad stuff. We can kind of like tag that this component has 10 high CVEs, so it would get color coded one way versus another one that would be a different color, and we can kind of group them together that way. So if your application is all all red, it would be really bad, versus all green, which is what you'd be kind of striving for. That's just another idea I had, that we can maybe use some of that CVE data and the security stuff, things like that we can kind of get a better picture of what an application looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Kind of the thought process I have around our data, how we can kind of view it differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And this would also give whoever is watching those visualized data, they would easily get what information we want to convey them.
Yeah. So think about, like I said, I just want to kind of get folks to start thinking about what we need to kind of take the data that we have and data that we're missing and figure out what we need to collect. Like Aisha is going to be working on the lib years, so we can see how old different components are, how out of date they are compared to the latest versions. So like that data is coming. Anything that we can think of along this lines, and maybe even stuff like I said, data that we kind of think we need, like maybe some telemetry data or error rates coming in from the logging tools that we need to associate with the components and the applications. So that's the main thing I just wanted to kind of get, have folks start thinking about is how we can start. Now we have the service catalog in place and we're grabbing data, how we can start utilizing it. Make it all pretty and fancy.
Yeah. I think this would be easy one for me because I have already worked with D3 in the beginning. So I'll see. I'll create some POCs around that.
Yeah, I think if we can, probably the first starting point will be figuring out, what's going to be what data is going to be on the x-axis, what data is going to be on the y-axis, and if we're going to do a three-dimensional, what would be on the z-axis. So I think that would be like the first part, is to just list, what the data points are, and then from there we can kind of start throwing some of the graphing at them to see which one makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So that's where I'm kind of thinking of for this architecture group. I know we have the GitOps piece that you're working on with the events. We'll keep doing that in parallel, kind of with the Australian group as well. So this is kind of like what I'm thinking of for the bigger group, is what we can utilize around, with this data.
Yep, absolutely. And when we were trying to do some stuff with B3, the problem that we faced was interactive measures, like converting a type of graph from one type to another. So that is why we switched to Power BI dashboards. So do you want to do these kind of stuff in future?
It all depends upon the licensing. So we have to stick to like a MIT, Apache. If we get into the lesser GNU licenses, then it gets a little weird on that front from the legal standpoint. So most of the D3, and there's another one called Viz.js, I think it's VIS.js is the other library that I've used that falls into that category. So it really comes into play with the licensing that we can consume.
Okay, got it.
Like the GNU license and the lesser GNU license are usually the ones that give us issues. Anything else is any open ones that allow us to do the copyright. It make it easier for us.
Okay.
Alrighty. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Do you have anything from your side?
I wanted to know one thing. So what I was doing, I was trying to build this monolithic application. So I was facing some errors there while starting up my Tomcat server.
Okay.
So,
I will. Are you in Eclipse?
yeah, I'm using
Okay.
Eclipse.
I will take some screenshots of my Tomcat install for Eclipse, because I think it's a slightly older version of Tomcat. I think it's either Tomcat 8 or 9 that you have to install. And I think that's probably where you're getting hung up.
So I'm using Tomcat 9 as 9, but I'm facing errors with that as well.
Actually, I'm looking at mine. I'm running 7 on this one.
7.
And let me change
Okay.
workspaces. I'm just switching workspaces to see what they're if both are using Tomcat 7. I'm definitely gonna have to reboot my machine today. It is just like crawling along. Still waiting for Eclipse to come up.
Yeah, sometimes it takes.
Which version of Eclipse do you have? The 2021 version or? Yeah.
Hello,
So,
can you come back here?
so it is Tomcat 7.
Okay, 7. Okay, I'll try to install 7 and see if that works.
Yeah. And yeah, so what I did was I installed the Tomcat 7 server, and then I believe I went to the DM admin web content, the web XML file, and then said run from there. And I think that's how I got the configuration to kind of launch correctly for the first time. And then once you get it in, and once you get it into your run configuration, then you can just use the menu item. But download 7 and let me know if you still get hung up, because I can we can do a quick web meeting and I can work with you on it.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty, Simon, you got anything for us?
Yes, Steve. I just have to drop off at 8:30, but we are just ending up the year, and for the next year, I'm thinking about starting some kind of a GitOps meeting or a GitOps working group. That's the Brad is managing it, and our focus in 2022 is rightly on the GitOps side. So there are a few of the individuals like Flex team. I believe you know Stefan Prodan, and from the Argo side, there are a few others. So I think we can start bringing those people in and start a GitOps working group and smooth running there. So I think that 2022 goals are for our side is to be more energetic around the GitOps tooling, what the Flux R peoples are doing, what the Argo side CD people are doing. So I will try to interact with those people so they can join the meetings of the GitOps working group as well.
Yeah, what we may end up having to do is have 2 GitOps working groups. One, because the working group in Australia that's focusing on GitOps is pretty far along. They've done all their investigation and they're rolling into kind of the next phase of they got most of the design done, and it'll be implementation at that level. So we can parallel that with what's happening with this earlier meeting that makes sense for another working group to have. So we'll have to coordinate. The person that you probably want to touch base with is Brad McCoy down in he's in New Zealand right now.
Yes, absolutely. And Brad, we previously talked about this thing, and I asked him to join some few individuals, because in the GitHub side, there are not much people, but there are few people that are very active
Mhm.
around the Flux side and the Argo side. And not many people who can get into this, dive into these inner details of how the GitOps working flow works, because everybody is right now is thinking about how this thing actually evolve over the years, how this flow works actually under the hood. So I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
is. It ends up being it's a really super complicated process. When you try to do it at scale, it's ridiculous. Utkarsh, do you remember who it was from Kepton that you were working with? Was it Adam?
It was Adam and few others.
Yeah.
So Adam was the person
Villa
who
Beta
was
Mobile,
also in our community.
Yeah, so we had folks from Kepton that was helping us out on the Down Under meeting, and I can't remember if there's anybody from Argo at that point. I get all my working groups crisscrossed, so I can't remember who's on which one.
yes, absolutely. I think for the Argo side, I know one person, and he is not an Argo maintainer or these kind of, but he has very active his own YouTube channel. He's part of the Crossplane team, Victor Forsick. So I think he is really active into the Argo CDs team as well. So
Okay.
he understand hold of the ecosystem. So I have some kind of meetings going on with these individuals around the GitOps working flow, because they are also interested in understanding how this actual flow works, how this evolved in 2022, and how it looks, what is going to be happen there, because that's really a ever evolving space in the GitOps market as well.
Yeah.
So also I sent you the email today for the for the office hour. I, Sasha, and Sergio will chat tomorrow, and we will schedule office hours next week, probably on Thursday or Friday.
Okay. Just make sure you drop me a calendar invite so I don't miss it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We just we will chat tomorrow with Sergio and Sasha, and I will send you tomorrow or the invite, and we schedule this thing. We call
Okay.
it the Ortelius year in review.
Sounds
For
good.
the office hour.
Perfect. The other person for the Argo side is Amit. He's in Australia as well, and he's picked up Argo in his using all the new beta stuff like application sets that just came out. So he has a good insight as well that we can tap from as a resource, and he's currently on that GitOps working group down that happens in another 6 hours.
Yes, absolutely. I have a meeting with the traffic team, and they have managed some kind of Stefan Pordan with the GitOps working group. So after this call, I'm jump into there, and then I will update you around this person, how he can join our working group as well.
Perfect.
So sorry, I have to go off.
We got to go too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Take care, Utkarsh, and think about that stuff.
Yes.
All right.
Okay,
have a good
thank you,
night.
everyone. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.